Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Christy Diaz. It has been an active weather weekend with rain, strong winds, and even that possibility of a wintry mix in North Georgia. We have team coverage this morning tracking where the rain is now, plus some damage from strong winds overnight. Let's begin with meteorologist Melissa Nord with a check of the live radar and what you need to know before you walk out the door.
And Christy, what you need to know is in the metro, there's a lot of rain that we've been tracking over the course of the last few hours this morning. A live look right now. You see how this is all kind of pivoting counterclockwise? That's around an area of low pressure, and that is sending a lot of rain in our direction along the I-20 corridor and across the metro. But temperatures have been far too warm in the metro to see any of this changing over into wintry weather. Where they are seeing it change over, that's over into northern Alabama and Tennessee. But let me show you where the rain is right now, because if you're about to walk out the door to a morning church service, you want to grab the umbrella, especially if you're out east of Atlanta from DeKalb County all the way into Newton and Rockdale counties as well. We've got a lot of rain right now. It's overall steady, lighter rain, but there's a few pockets where that intensity picks up a little bit more near Covington, and that's all moving very slowly northward and towards Lawrenceville. Up in the North Georgia mountains, you see these few hints where it's pink and white on the map. Those are the very highest elevations that could see some flakes mixing in. I've been watching our live cameras across North Georgia this morning. In Blue Ridge, it's just mist and drizzle, but up at Brasstown Bald, that's over 4,700 feet in elevation. It is snowing there, but we're just not seeing it in a lot of our mountain towns as of this moment right now, but still tracking that potential for some flurries. A few bursts of snow to mix in at times over the next few hours this morning. 43 in Atlanta, so it is far too warm. It's more than 10 degrees above freezing for us to see snow mixing in the metro. It's 41 right now in Blairsville and 43 in Clayton. But as you climb up in elevation, that's where the temperatures drop and they tap into the colder air. A little bit of mixing still going to be possible all the way through about early this afternoon up there. Meanwhile, showers will continue in the metro. We are going to dry things out later today. We'll walk through that on the forecast track coming up in a bit. But we are tracking that potential for the wintry weather in the North Georgia mountains. I want to turn now to our Thunder Truck, where Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb is live there, not far from Young Harris and Blairsville. Chris, have you been able to spot any of those flurries so far this morning?
You know, not really much so far. We've been watching the raindrops as they hit the windshield. In fact, I'll show you what we've got right now, where we are just into Young Harris and we're headed over toward near Hiawassee, and we'll continue moving on over through North Georgia. As we have been driving up here today, of course, we have gone over some of the mountains at some higher elevations above 2,500 feet, where it was still mainly rain there, but every once in a while when a raindrop would hit the windshield and splat on the windshield, you could tell that maybe there was at one point a melting snowflake with that. But as you can see here, the roads are mainly just wet, and even this precip that's falling from the sky right now is mainly in the form of liquid, in the form of just some light rain that is coming through right now. The roads are fine. Temperatures here right now, Thunder Truck temperature is at 41 degrees. That's at the surface. But Melissa, as you know, as we've been talking about, what makes this tricky is that this upper level low is moving through, and that's a cold core of air in the upper levels. And that's what could sustain that snow in the upper levels. But the good news is, as we're watching this come down, it's moving into that warmer air. So we don't expect this to be a big impact event, just maybe some pretty snowflakes coming in some of these North Georgia cities and counties here. Stay with us. We're going to keep moving on over through North Georgia. We'll let you know when and if we spot any snow. Christy, back to you.
All right, Chris, thanks. A little closer back to the metro. Some people have been dealing with damage overnight. Here's a look at some of that damage we're seeing this morning. Trees falling on power lines, also causing outages across the metro. We have been monitoring Georgia Power throughout the night. Right now in Fulton County, 781 customers are currently without power. 461 in Hall County and another 79 in Cherokee County. Georgia EMC also tracking about 2,600 customers in the dark across the entire state, with over 1,400 customers in Gwinnett County alone. While parts of North Georgia are waking up to some snow flurries in those upper elevations, like Chris mentioned, much of the metro has been dealing with that damaging wind and rain. This morning, at least one family in Tucker will be looking for a new car after a large tree came down, smashing on top of it. Kara Spelger is live there at the North Lake Manor condos. Kara, show us around the damage. This was a pretty big tree.
It really is. Some people waking up still just seeing it this morning, but I'm going to step right out so you can take a look at what we're looking at here. You can barely make out the car underneath. The car next to it narrowly missed being hit as well. Several spaces in this parking lot, as you can see, are being blocked off by tape as a precaution, and this means other residents are not able to leave either. We've seen a few people walking around, and they're just waking up to this tree that's in the middle of their complex. A few were surprised. Some say they heard it. One person we spoke from said just that it was a loud bang when he heard that tree fall. Here's what he told me just less than an hour ago.
I was sitting in here watching some HBO, and we heard what sounded like a car crash. It sounded like two cars collided. Look out the window, and as you can see, a large tree has fallen on top of multiple vehicles. Luckily, nobody was inside. But yeah, it was just a devastatingly loud collision.
And right now, he and other residents are waiting for the complex to send a crew out here so they can move this tree, and also so other people can move their vehicles. We're going to stay on top of this and continue bringing more information throughout the morning.
Yeah, Karis, there is no backing out of that mess. I imagine we'll hear some chainsaws later today. And remember, you can check the weather and keep up with the forecast this morning and throughout the rest of the day, no matter where you are. Download the 11 Alive app for free, and then don't forget to turn on the alerts. That way you can get weather updates right for your specific community right in the palm of your hand.